Alright, so re-gripping a stick. Most of our veteran followers will know how to do this, but for the special someone who hasn't done this before, it's actually quite simple. It's just about having patience and a little bit of precision, and just knowing the tricks of the trade, so to speak. So you want to start by obviously removing your old grip, which is usually pretty simple here. You got to remove that tape that always comes on it to help seal it. So now, depending on how long the grip's been on your stick, it'll leave behind a second layer of film, which you can see right there. So that'll have to come off. But if you, let's say you bought a stick and you're like, I don't like black, blue, purple, green, whatever the color may be, and you're subbing it in for, you know, hot pink, because you're cool, yeah, that extra layer might not stay behind because the grip will be so new. So just literally turn your stick as you pull on the grip, and your grip comes off. So the important thing to remember is that we have an oval shaft here in this instance. So where the grip is going to end might be a little different depending on the type of grip you have. One of the great things about our friends at Tanaki is they give you enough grip to actually have success with a oval grip shaft. So some companies make you buy grips specifically for their oval shafts, because yeah, who doesn't want to make more money? But we're just going to start removing this layer of tape as we get higher up here, because we're starting to get some resistance. And the fun part about ungripping a stick is you can always see what the shaft is made of, and actually how light the shaft is and how heavy your grip is, because some grips provide great texture and a great feel to the stick, but they're actually really heavy. Now, in this case as well, for ungripping, Oxdog has given us two color grips, both white but with different lettering. So we're going to have to take that layer of tape off as well, which again, not hard. That one's not even attached, just literally middle there. But as you can see as we go up here, less sticky tape sticking behind. So first part is done. We're keeping it simple and not doing a double grip, but if you wanted to do so, all you would have to do is cut the first grip that you're putting on here, decide how far you want it to go. Maybe you want to do a darker color because, you know, your top hand is actually where you wear out your grip most. Usually it is the top part of your shaft that gets dirty faster. And then, you know, you throw in that nice white or pink or blue, you know, to match that. So, just going to finish unwrapping this here as my cat Lucy decides to join my video, possibly. So, she's fun, she's cool, there she is. Hi Lucy, say hi to all the internet people. Really appreciate you coming down to help us out here. So as you get to the top, you usually get a little bit of a resistance because you have obviously your end piece. So, and now in this case too, because of the weighted system, there's actually almost a butt end on the shaft. So yeah, so nice clean shaft. You want to make sure there's as minimal residue as possible. So if your grip's been on your stick for like 3-4 years, because you know you only play once every 3 Canada Cups and you finally re-gripping it, you're going to want to possibly even sand this down or take a heat gun and just help remove that extra layer of glue that is left behind your previous grip. So start by unwrapping your grip, which usually has that layer of tape there, which you use to finish gripping your stick so that the grip doesn't peel at the bottom. So the way you can always tell which end goes up is the angled end, right? So this is going to be, this side's going to be at the top of our grip, and then this is where it is, and it's what allows us to get that tapered screw-like motion. And as you can see with Tanaki, their grips are aerated, because you can see the tape that's behind. If I unpulled the tape, you would see the color of my wall behind me. And that feel is for weight, or that effect is for weight, but also for feel. I've had this grip on other sticks, and it makes a huge difference in terms of like moisture in your hand, maintaining that stickiness, and it allows for the grip to still have that soft feel, but not be as spongy as, let's say, like a super sticky tacky grip from Salming. So I'm going to try and do this sitting down. We'll find out if that's possible. So you don't want to go and unravel all of your tape, as things can get stuck, and if you're going back and having to redo your work just because you know you're not even, or you're a perfectionist like me, that is, you don't want to have too much tape left over. So you usually want to start with an oval stick at the midsection. So we're on the opposite side here, and you're literally filling in around the top here to get as much of your knob as possible, and then you just start to go down, and you want to line up. So we'll try and get this here. Here we go. So you want to line up that line there with the edge of the grip. So in the first part it's easier because there's actually only one line. So you just kind of spinning the stick as you hold the grip tight, pushing down a little bit as well. And if you're a real perfectionist, you would have a blow dryer or a heat gun, and you would just be applying a little bit of heat to help the adhesive apply to the shaft a little better. But personally, I always prefer to do that after, if necessary. And it's usually at the top here where the knob is, because that's always where you have your bumps and air bubbles. But this is why I like Tanaki grips, is that you can line it up a lot easier due to our double lines that are on the grip. And by the way, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but if you want a Tanaki grip, feel free to reach out to us via social media or email, which I'll provide all that info down below, to quote some famous YouTubers. And yeah, we can either drop some off for you or send some out to you, depending on your location. So now that we've got the top part covered and taken care of, a little bit of bumpage, but again, we'll fix that after. You're just literally following the line of the shaft and the grip, and as you go, just remember to keep removing tape. Alright, and the other key factor to remember is that when working with an oval shaft, you have to be not as aggressive with your lie, because you have more surface area in some and less surface area in others, unlike a round shaft where, because of the shape of the shaft being more even, you are going to have a little easier area for surface to purchase and such. So just to kind of reiterate that grip in the holes, you can now see the black underneath the shaft there. So just gives you an idea of how actually aerated this grip is. So far we're doing pretty well here. And just to kind of give you an idea, that's how much shaft I have left, and I've still got a folded up grip to go here, which is again why I like this grip so much, is because regardless of shaft size or type, you're going to have enough grip versus ending short and having a look issue, but also like a feel issue for someone who's using the full grip length. Especially if you are a face-off person, your top hand is moving up and down that shaft a lot more. Or if you're a big shooter, your hands are going to be farther apart and you want the grip to be in the right spot. As I try and keep track of my cat Lucy, who has decided she's going to be part of this video, whether she's on screen or not. Okay, so, and actually this is a good point to stop here, because you can actually see, if you watch the last video, that flat surface in the shaft that's oval. So that D-oval grip that they've talked about for Ox Dog is actually something that is, it's not like it's just a feel thing, it's actually like if you remove the grip you'll be able to see it, which is cool. And always nice to see when companies aren't just BSing you. They actually have what they say, they actually deliver on what they promise or say they're going to do. So this is actually turning out really well. Only got 6 more inches left here to go down, and just remember that as we're doing this, we're just constantly applying even pressure, and because of how adhesive this grip is, I'm literally going to have to heat up the top. And you could use a blow dryer if you don't have a heat gun, low setting, and literally like 3-4 seconds, hit it, push down on the area you're trying to reapply, so to speak. And yeah, and you'll notice too that every once in a while I readjust my line, because I'm getting less of an oval shaft and more circular, so I have to pay more attention down here as we go. But these lines that indent is what's allowing me to kind of guide myself here. And with the amount of space I have left, that's about how much tape I have. And you'll notice that the bottom is again tapered so that we can have an even square finish. Part's being finicky. There we go. So if this is your first time gripping a stick, don't freak out, don't worry about it, just take your time, because there's never really a rush unless you've got a game in 5 minutes, in which case ask a teammate who's done it before. But yeah, if you're just sitting at home getting ready for your, you know, Floorball and Cambridge League game to come up there, and you've got a couple of hours to kill before game time, you can grip your stick. Getting down to the wire here. Might come up a little short on this one, but that is not a big deal for me, because I keep my hands pretty high on the stick. There we go. So when you're finishing, you want to aim just a little lower on that line, because they've given you that taper to come around, but you don't want to miss it by too much, because otherwise you'll have an unrough feel. So now I did mention that this grip would come down all the way, but because of how I grip the stick a little closer, I don't want any feeling of, I want to feel seamless in here, but you can bring those gaps a little farther apart, probably about like 1 millimeter, which would give you that last bit of space. So to finish up, we take our nice little tape, and I mean, which way you do it is up to you. If you want to read it, obviously face it towards the top of the stick. I prefer to have it down towards the blade, simply because it goes with the rest of the grip. And I think Lucy has left the building. You just throw that around there like so. You want to keep this as even as possible, so again, we're looking for any rubbing. We're moving our hand up. So all said and done, I've got about 1/4 of an inch left, which I could have made up in space up in the top here, like I said earlier. But again, good feel. I never bring my hand down that low, so I'm not as concerned, and a little bit of white doesn't really hurt the overall look of my now pink and blue stick. So yeah, that's how you grip your stick with a Tanaki grip from Sweden. And again, my reviews on the grip and the stick will be posted either before or after this, I'm not 100% sure, on my YouTube channel. And yeah, maybe we'll actually get some footage of me shooting, which should be funny if that happens. Yeah, there you go. Nice new fresh grip. And make sure you throw your old grip out. It is not recyclable, unfortunately. And yeah, have a good one.